Namaste everybody and welcome to another class of Yoga Vidya. Now today I am going to try and bring some structure because as I have already as we have been discussing the past many weeks, most of the theory you all know. Now I am trying now today to bring context and an understanding of why you are going to do what you are going to do. At the outset, I'm going to request that you keep your microphones on off and switch it on when you ask a question. Um, let's start with purushartha. Why are we alive? There are four purusharthas, and you all know that: Artha, Kama, Dharma, Moksha. Artha is the material part, Kama is the sensual part, Dharma is order or that which keeps us in equilibrium. Moksha is that thing that allows us to transcend Maya and merge with the source. So let's start with Artha and Kama. As I said, Artha is the material part. This is a phone. It is material. It is matter. But and all around us, we live in an earth which has got matter and material. But that in itself has no value unless we can cognize it using our senses. So that means anything that is material has got two parts. The first part is the physical manifestation of that thing, and the second has got two parts. One is what how we view it, how we observe it. So we relate to it as an object, we recognize it as an object. The second part is how that existentiality of this particular object is translated into like or dislike within us. That means just seeing the object is only one part. That is the recognition of existence of this particular object. Thereafter, that is done through the senses. It then goes to the manas, which is the cognitive center, where that data is collated, and from there it gets the data that comes in is compared with the data that is already existing, which is the buddhi. That is, the buddhi is the memory, it is also our cognitive state, and it is our conditioning, dharma. So dharma provides all that information to buddhi, and buddhi compares the data that comes in with the data that is resident. That is the data that is resident, and then between the two there is a reconciliation. That reconciliation can result in either a like or a dislike. As a result of this like and dislike, we then respond, right? So Artha and Kama weave with each other. You cannot have one without the other. Unlike what many people say, that Kama is sensual only and it is separate, I do not think that is correct. You cannot have Kama without Artha. There has to be a physical underpinning of any object for you to be able to relate to it. And that is given by first our cognition of that object, and then comparison of that object with what we have already got resident within us. In engineering or design, this is called form and function. You've got function, that is the way the function, the form is the one that it has, the material has, the matter, what constitutes the matter. And the function is the way it works. So the hardware and the software. So hardware is the one that makes sure that your product or whatever you relate to, you see, is Like is you recognize it, and then thereafter you have a like and dislike. So this is very important. For example, if you go to a building, you will see a building. If the building is clean and its environments are clean, so whatever relates to the five senses, sight, touch, smell, and all of that, if it has got clutter, and if it's smelling of sewage, you will automatically not like it. You will have dvesha. You will push it away. So form and function, hardware and software, these two merge with each other. So Artha and Kama are two very important characteristics of any entity, whether it is alive or it is sentient or jiva, or it is insentient or jadam. We now will come to what is dharma. Now, wherever we are, we have a sense of stability. At certain point, we are very comfortable and stable in a particular state. That state is called dharma. In medical terminology, that is called homeostasis. Homeostasis means that state where all our body parameters are kept in a very simple manner, or in the parameters that they should be. That is, our blood pressure is around 120/80, our temperature, body temperature is whatever it should be, and things like that. When things go out of control, or when that stability moves out, our body, we begin to take compensatory action. But in order to take that compensatory action, we have to inject ourselves with something that drives us to achieve the compensate that input. That is given to us by the amygdala, which triggers the pituitary hypothalamus adrenaline axis, injects adrenaline into the system and cortisol into the system, and enables us to face the new stimulus that comes to us. What does this mean? It means that we are normally in a state of rest, and whenever stimulus hits us, it forces us to change. When we have to change, the first thing that happens is that there is a trigger that enables us to go and face that change. And this change then might be that leads us to a new position. This new position again is our dharma. So our dharma is moved from one point to another. But as far as possible, if the entire system that we live in is in a state of peace, then we will also be in a state of peace. Whenever that state of peace is destabilized, then we begin to experience turbulence or chaos, and that is called adharma. Adharma does not mean wrong. There is no such thing as wrong, because wrong and right are all relative. What is wrong in a particular case does not have to be right for you. Somebody who is driving in the opposite direction does not recognize that he is doing a wrong thing unless he has been told. But for as long as he is not told, he is thinking he is doing an okay thing. You will notice in many cities, people have dogs. They take dogs out. The dogs will poop. Nobody will pick up the poop. They will allow it to remain in the neighborhood. They would not have even cognized that they are creating a destabilization effect in society. That is a dharma. So the point is that dharma and adharma are very subtle things. Dharma essentially means that which keeps us stable. If we are in a state of meditation, slowly what happens? All our thoughts and other things start settling down. And as they start settling down, we become one with the environment. And when we become one with the environment, we all begin to get that state of stability. And that is Dharma. Dharma now acts at two levels. One is the Dharma that is universal. This is called Sanatana Dharma. That is, this mobile phone has a Dharma. It is meant to be a medium of communication. Now, no matter what happens, a mobile phone will always have a particular activity to do, that is to communicate. Similarly, the heart has a dharma. Everything has a dharma. Gold has a dharma, which means it is defined by its atomic weight and atomic number. Hydrogen, oxygen, water, everybody, every entity has a dharma. The minute that dharma is changed, its composition changes. When oxygen is separate, hydrogen is separate, each of them has an atomic number and an atomic weight. The minute they combine to form water, the dharma changes. Now, this is something that we need to recognize, that it is universal. But when we come with human beings, that paradigm changes. The reason for this is that human beings have their own, have no, they are at the top of the apex of the apex point of all organisms, and they control their environment no matter where they are. Hence, human beings do not get governed by other rules. For example, a tiger will eat when it's hungry. A tiger will not kill or eat when it is not hungry. That does not apply to a human being. Human being will eat whether or not he or she is hungry because of emotional destabilization. It does not happen in the case of other animals. So the only thing that controls a human being is another human being. So human beings are given artificial frameworks which they need to use to control. In the West, they have their own frameworks. For us, who have been called Hindus, we have what is called Astika Dharma. Astika Dharma means what? It means that these people say that the Vedas are the source of all knowledge, and that the Vedas are apaurushika. The apaurushika means they are not coming from material inputs. Not of man does not mean that human beings have brought it or not. The medium is through human beings only. So the human being only has to give you the medium. But the thing is that it is not coming through a cognitive process. It is coming through some other process, which is done when you are in a state of yoga. So this is what astikas are. So those that follow astika, who are astikas, are called follow astika dharma, or they are called astika samaja. That is, they are people who follow, they are of astika samaj. Similarly, you have Sikhs, who actually Sikhs are all followers of Vedanta. If you go through the ecommerce Satnam, you will realize everything is about the Brahman. Similarly, let us say Buddha Dharma. There also there's a lot of similarity, but the rules are slightly different. Also in Sikh Dharma, the rules are slightly different. Point I'm making is that these rules are essentially given to give a framework on which good behavior or peaceful behavior is determined. Now, Bharat has a constitution and a law, a legal framework which defines what is good behavior. When you follow that behavior, you become a good citizen. This is Dharma. So, as I said, there are two Dharmas. One is the Dharma that is the framework on which every organism and entity is, which every entity follows that particular rules of nature, and built on top of that is the dharma for human beings, where human beings are given frameworks to follow so that they do not become, they do not just result, they do not just follow a flow of power. Lastly, we have moksha. Now, moksha is also very peculiarly applicable mostly to humans. And this is because human beings are cognitive. So, every item that comes to you gives you a stimulus. And because of that stimulus, there is a relationship that is made. And this relationship that is created creates a bond, which creates a kind of a framework, which becomes the phenomenon that you consider to be the right one. This phenomenon which drives all our cognition is called maya. Maya means, so this particular thing called maya is a something that we all relate to. It grips us, and we all think that that is our reality. However, that is temporary, that is not permanent, and it is changing all the time. And because it is changing all the time, we also know intellectually that it is not permanent. Even our own existence is not permanent. But still, that particular thing, the grip of maya is so high that we are unable to change the way we work. So dharma is a component of maya which forces us to live in a particular manner. Therefore, in order to change ourselves, we need to realize that this temporary way of living, we need to find a permanent solution. So what is that permanent solution? That permanent solution is moksha. That is, from temporary existence, we become we become a permanent entity. And what is that permanent entity? That permanent entity comes when we merge with the Brahman. The Brahman is what they call Paramartha Satya, or absolute truth. It is also called Nirguna state. Now, that particular state is the state of null, where nothing exists. So what happens is that in moksha, while dharma is an outward flowing cognition, moksha is a regressive or an inward flowing action. So it is so what we do is that while we interact with the environment, our cognition flows outwards. Yeah, unless my cognition flows outwards, I will not be able to go and pick up this mobile phone. However, unless I say I don't want the mobile phone, I will not free myself from the bond I have established with the mobile phone. This is true for everything. We are born alone, we live alone, we die alone. The force of Maya teaches, anyway, kind of tricks us to believing that we are related to everything else. And that relationship comes because we need to confirm our own existence. And so we build these relationships with various jivas and jadams to make sure that we are confirming our own state of existence. So to attain that moksha, we need to start letting go those relationships. Now I'm going to stop here for a minute and then ask you all whether you have any questions, and then we can have a small discussion, and then I can go to the next level. Does anybody have any questions? Meenu madam, Lakshmi madam, Anand sir.
Sir, I don't want to be too early in asking a question, sir. I thought if I listen to you further, I might get more clarity. Although a few
No,
doubts are cropping up here and there, I don't
no,
want
the
to
problem is
jump
that
in.
purushartha is one particular state. Okay, I want to take this
Yes,
purushartha, complete the subject, and then go
yes,
to the next step of prajna.
yes,
So
sir.
let's finish this discussion.
Okay, sir.
What is your question?
Uh, See, basically, when you said there is no right and wrong as far as
Hmm,
dharma is concerned,
hmm,
and one is what one is meant to be, and
hmm,
that kind of logic. And you
hmm,
also said at the same time about
hmm,
how the chalanam in the Brahman, which is the Maya,
hmm,
brings about that shift or movement. That is what is causing all these different jivas. So,
hmm,
so on one hand, we are talking about letting go, but on the
hmm,
other hand, we are also saying no, we still have to do a few things. I mean,
hmm,
that's what we are all doing to
hmm.
conform to the societal requirements.
Correct.
So all that is clashing, sir.
How is it
I
clashing?
feel
So
it.
let me
I
give you
feel
another.
it's.
Let
Huh,
me give you a more simple example.
sir.
I don't know if you're vegetarian or non-vegetarian. I'm not getting there.
Huh,
But some
huh,
of us are
huh,
vegetarian. Some of us are
yes.
non-vegetarian.
Huh,
Those that are non-vegetarian do not have a problem in eating meat.
yes.
Even in the non-vegetarian sphere, there are those who will never eat meat which they see slaughtered. Like for instance, after Bakri Eid, in Bakri Eid, people are supposed to keep the goat in their house and then it is supposed to be ceremoniously slaughtered. Many people will not eat the meat of that animal which has been slaughtered because they just can't bear it. That is the attachment. And that is precisely what Allah says you should try and the reason why that is done is because Abraham was then when he took Ishmael to he was doing his meditation and all that. Apparently, I mean he got a feeling that I should he was told sacrifice your son. And when he was almost going to sacrifice, and the turmoil that existed in him is what we are talking about as the attachment. This whole thing is Maya. It's nothing else. There is nothing that exists or does not exist. Because the minute you close your eyes and go to sleep, it does not exist. The minute you open your eyes, it exists. So you don't even remember what you slept when you slept for 8 hours. Can you imagine 1/3 of your day, your life in a day? You have slept and you don't know what exists. It can only be a phenomenon, no? So the thing is that anybody who says eating meat is right or not eating meat is right is actually neither right nor wrong. Am I making sense to you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are,
So
sir.
have I answered your question?
I am trying to arrive at a understanding while you said that
Hmm.
it is all situation based to each their own kind of a thing. What may be, for example, I am in this very example that you gave us, sir. For somebody who doesn't eat non-vegetarian, any form of non-vegetarian will not seem appealing,
It is repulsive. It is
will
repulsive.
repulsive. But
Hmm.
for the Muslim who is following it in that way, he doesn't feel anything is wrong. So
Correct.
finally, it is to each their own kind of situation.
It is
And
not each his own. It is only
uh,
partly each his own. But where
uh,
does that each his own come from? It comes from conditioning. That is,
yes,
most of the people who are vegetarians were born vegetarians. Very few people convert from vegetarian to non-vegetarian. Okay, so it is conditioning. It is conditioning by the mother who tells the child that you should not, this is good, this is good. Animals are have a right to live just like us. In the other case, there is I don't know how the others think because I have really no but there also it is conditioning that the animal is there for as a support system for human beings. Let me give you a very interesting example. This I read some many years ago during the mad cow disease. signed, I think it's about 10, 15 years ago. In there is a breed of cows in Japan which is considered to be a very, very highly priced cow, and the meat of that cow is supposed to be really great. So there was a farmer who had 50 cows, and because of the mad cow disease, he had to slaughter all the cows. So he slaughtered them and he buried them, and every year he goes to the place where he's buried them and does shrad. He says, your dharma was to come to earth and to be food for others, for a human being. I, as the farmer, was responsible to ensure that you lived a decent life and you died a decent death so that your dharma could have been completed. Unfortunately, because I did not take care of you properly, your dharma was incomplete. You died, but you did not fulfill that final requirement of becoming food for somebody. So he actually goes and performs this last rite every year. Now, what do you say to that? It's very interesting.
True, sir. He's basically trying to make peace with himself for whatever has happened, especially for the part which happened where he has no control over it. That
One is
part.
that, but then the thing is that we also do Shrad, no? It is not just
Yes.
for himself. We also, all Astika Samaja people also do Shrad. In fact, even in New Zealand, they do proper Shrad. They will go and they will talk, they will go to the headstone of the person who's been buried and they talk to and they have a very special way. The New Zealanders, they have a very special way of talking to their ancestors. That is also a Shrad. Now,
Yes,
in
sir.
our system, when we do Mangalya Dharanam during marriage, what happens is when the mantra that you use for Mangalya Dharanam, you say that 20 generations, that is 21 generations, myself, 10 generations up, 10 generations that will come, get appeased when you do a Mangalya Dharanam or sorry, a Kanya Dharanam. And that mantra is there. Now, the thing is that we do Shraddh only for the 3 generations. What it means is that you have 7 generations other than that who are also following this particular thing. Another interesting thing, we all do use the bamboo, I mean the coconut, the banana stem in front of the pandal. Why? Why do we use the coconut, I mean the mango leaf? Because what they say is that our pitrus, depending on their karma, will come as trees, leaves, and other things, fruits. So when you put that, those pitrus will come sit there and bless everybody who comes to the vivaha, the pandal.
Yes,
So
sir.
what is it that is being considered as phenomenon, right and wrong? This is not there in any other system. What do you, Meenu madam?
Yes, sir. Sir, I had a
What?
question.
Yeah, who has the question?
I.
Who is I?
Who's I? This is like Sri Ramana asking her. Please ask your
Okay,
question.
okay, Meenu madam. Okay, ask a question.
Sir, my question was, it came out of what you were talking. Okay, it wasn't an independent question.
Mm.
You said that the cow example, the Japanese farmer and his cows. It made me also wonder that we, at least in Sanatana, have a very strong belief that not a leaf moves without God's will.
Who says that? Where is that belief? Please,
No,
I
no,
have never heard of this belief.
it is written in some, maybe in Bhagavad Gita somewhere. It is very well written. It is not something like a kinvadanti, or it is not like some folk something. It is
No,
actually said.
no. Can you just because see one thing in our system is that belief is a swapna avastha. It is a dream state. Without pramanas, without proper evidence, we must not. We need to have proper evidence before a hypothesis is created. Now, I have not heard of any such thing.
This is so common. I mean, I'm really surprised you haven't heard it. I'm not saying it in a bad way, but I'm saying.
I'm perfectly comfortable for you to say it in a bad way. I've got no problem with that. The point is, I haven't heard of it. I have no understanding of this at all, because karma does even in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Krishna does not take responsibility for Arjuna's acts. Arjuna, he clearly tells him it's your responsibility. तुमको fight करने का fight करो. You want to fight, you fight.
No, I'm not
हाँ,
talking karmas at all
nowhere.
here. I am
So
the
how
cause.
is,
No, upadana karanam for everything is always and always God. Ultimately.
no, it is prarabdha karma.
Not human beings. I'm saying, for example, a particular person, say Ravana behaved in a certain way, okay? It was his karma. But he was also, it was, how should I say? I don't know. It was his destiny, I should say. What I should say, I don't know.
Prarabdha karma.
Prarabdha karma alone we cannot say also, because it's interlinked with other things, as I see.
Like
for
what?
example, Rama was supposed to come on this earth, and one of his biggest mission was one of the defining mission things of his descent onto this earth was Mahavishnu's descent, sorry, as Sri Rama, was to do vadam of this Ravanasura.
Why?
Right?
Why?
Because he's doing adharma.
No.
Also,
no,
is that story,
no.
is that Bhagavatam story.
1 second. For this, you have to go back.
Yeah, that Dwarapala story.
Exactly. So it is all prarabdha karma.
Right. But I am.
There is only prarabdha karma. Where is God coming into this?
So you are not. I'm afraid to talk more, because I'll tell you why I'm hesitating is because one thing, taking the time of everybody. Second thing, I would like to know if any of the other panelists have ever, heard even that not a leaf moves without the ultimate divine will. Okay.
But Meenu madam, what is the meaning of divine will? Where does this divine will come from?
From divinity.
No, the thing is that now we are all talking about some, in this particular class especially, Yoga Vidya class, I try to keep it, I'm sorry to use the word, I try to make sure that there is no fuzzy wuzzy. Because the thing is that if you are not precise, if you are not scientists, this whole thing is like almost a logical, scientific reasoning process.
Sir, please let me intervene here. First,
yes.
Let me admit, unlike you, I am not at all a science student. I am a humanities student throughout.
One moment, logic. You believe in logic, right? I have not been talking science at all. Everything I do is logic.
No, what I am saying is that the cow, if you want to talk about karma also, if it was the karma of the cows to die, how is this farmer responsible for that? He was only an instrument to carry out that karma. So why are you feeling guilty about, because of me, your thing got disrupted and all those kind of things? It is not because of him at all. It is that those cows, that bunch of cows, in whatever form they were in their previous existences, they would have incurred something in their karma.
Correct. That is prarabdha karma. Ho gaya na? There is no divinity here.
No. I am not asking. No, you are mixing up both. Leave the divinity thing for on the side. I am saying.
Okay.
Yes, I am saying, if you take that farmer example, the farmer going and doing the shraddha makes no sense, because he was merely a nimitta karana. He was being used to kill these cows, because these cows were supposed to be slaughtered like that, according to their prarabdha.
But his dharma was saying that you have to look after the cow until it is slaughtered and the meat is delivered to the person who is supposed to eat it. That is his dharma. That is his responsibility. Now he has failed in that responsibility.
This cow's prarabdha also, it is interwoven, no?
Correct. But that is why he is saying that I could not. The issue is not the cow's prarabdha karma. Issue is his own karma. Here the cows are dead and gone. There's nothing for the cows. The
So
cows
why
are in.
guilty about
But
it?
for this fellow, his responsibility that he should look after the cow, make sure it is looked after without where it is peaceful and it is healthy, slaughtered in the right manner, and meat is delivered to the right people, is his responsibility, and he has not been able to complete it.
But there are
Why,
certain.
I agree that he has not been able to complete it for reasons out of his own control.
So it's like the COVID time, so many things happened which were not supposed to happen. So
Correct.
the farmer has to only think of it as, I am a kind of a tool, I am an instrument for these cows to have been slaughtered because they needed to be. He had
Agreed.
no other choice, right? Because
Agreed. So because he did not think that way, he took the karma on himself, no?
he
So the thing that
voluntarily
what you are saying is samasti karma.
involved in that.
Samasti
Instead of
karma.
nirlipta bhavam, he didn't have any nirlipta bhavam. He was like
Correct.
too much getting involved with the cows,
Correct.
life, death and all that.
Correct. Correct.
So
So samasti karma affects everybody, whether it is a mad cow disease or COVID, or it is rain. Everybody experiences rain. So that is samasti karma. Each of us has prarabdha karma.
right.
Then afterwards, that becomes what we are creating now is agami karma, and sanchita karma is the one that is the overall karma.
My question was regarding his attitude, whether his attitude was right or wrong.
It is his attitude. It is neither right or wrong.
Oh,
It is his current state of prarabdha karma. For example, I don't know why I am doing this. I never in my wildest dream thought that I would be teaching yoga. I thought if anything I would go and teach
so
management.
that's where I was talking about the divine will thingy, that is this only divine will that
No,
you should
that
be.
is prarabdha karma. There is no divine will. It is prarabdha karma. Unless that call had come in 2008 when somebody said that your grandfather wrote the world's first book, I would not have changed. I would have continued to remain in that bog of management.
So you're actually saying you don't believe, you are an astika, but you don't believe in the divine will? How is that possible? I just can't get my head wrapped around this.
But I don't understand what divinity means. What is divine?
Oh.
I'm
Then-
asking you to define divine.
In Astan, the Nastikas, if you tell me, they also don't believe there's anything divine. We also say there's nothing divine. Fine. Then
No, but the point is, what is divine? You have to define what is divine. No, I'm not saying you're wrong or right or wrong. Please understand for a minute.
so whatever is an Astika, what is an Astika different from Nastika? Because he's a belief. He has some belief.
No. Astika is very clear. Yeah, I mean, you have heard the whole class and you've completely not understood the fundamental. I mean, you're jumping away from the fundamental. Astika says Vedas are the source of all knowledge and they are apaurushika.
Yes, but in the same Vedas, how many times the divinities' names and
Where?
Rupam
Where?
everything described,
Where?
no?
Where?
Oh my God. Oh, so many are there. The Suktams we can see.
Where? Tell me the Suktam and I'll tell you, I'll interpret it for you.
So
There is no divinity there. Because you have to define what divinity means. What is divine? What is the meaning of divinity? The only thing that is divine in our system is the Brahman. That's it.
that Brahman is only described in various ways, no?
But the Brahman is inert. It is Basma. It is inert.
If
It does not exist. He very clearly tells you it does not act, it does not do anything, it does not take others' karma, it does not do anything.
That is when he chooses to remain formless. But when he becomes form,
Then it becomes Saguna.
yeah.
It is Maya. It is Maya.
So
It is Maya. Either it is Nirguna or Saguna. If
Yes.
it is Nirguna, it is Brahman. That is divinity. When it's
Right.
Saguna, it is not Brahman. There is no divinity there. It is what you are seeing.
So Sri Rama, Sri Krishna, they are not divinity at all.
No.
By that,
Where are the divinity? He doesn't even call himself divine.
so you're just kind of made me
Confused.
not confused. I will say totally head up and Shisha Sanam types. Because
No, I'm asking you. See, the thing. This
you
is
are,
why
you
I conduct the Yoga Vidya class
are
for critical thinking only. We have to critically appreciate what exactly we are. And why am I doing this? Because for 2000, I mean, for more than almost 1,000 years, we have been invaded, and the fundamental core of our existence has been nearly properly churned. So we don't understand our first principles. That is the problem.
so this is sounding like Arya Samaji, like
No, no, no. I'm not Arya Samaji at all. I am saying you have to do critical thinking. I am not disputing for a minute that you are wrong. I mean right or wrong, whichever it is. I am saying whatever it is, you have to indulge in critical thinking. If you say that this is divinity, you have to define divinity, you have to prove divinity in a proper empirical manner. That is the right way to do things. Anything. No
in,
matter. Satyameva Jayate means what? In the end, truth will triumph. If you want to find the truth, you must have a proper hypothesis that you say that this is divine. Then you have to go and set about the manner of proving that it is divine. If you are saying Krishna is divine, I am not going to dispute it. I am
right,
only saying prove.
sir,
Prove
I
it.
am asking you one thing.
Hmm.
Basically, what you are doing is taking the parameters of science and trying to apply them on something that is beyond science.
No. If you are going to say it is beyond science, then what? How can you say that I exist and then say that I'm going to have something that does not exist? I am unable to prove. That means you are living in a world of make believe. No,
How?
the divinity that you are talking about that is beyond science is a world of make believe, right?
No, why science? You mean that beyond science there can be nothing that science cannot grapple? The
I
truth,
am not talking science at all. I'm only talking logic.
even
Everything I'm talking about is logic.
even logic. If you take even logic, there are
What is the fundamentals of logic? Logic means if I say something exists, I must prove its existence. If I say something is something, I must prove that it is something. That's all. There is nothing more than that.
when we try to prove that
Hmm.
that proof will be filtered through our limited sources of our five senses only. No.
Why do you say it is limited? Now the thing was that I was actually going to go into the Sharira and all that. Today looks like we are going to. Should I
No,
now?
please continue, sir. I don't want to derail your class, actually.
You are
Seriously.
not derailing my class. Please understand one thing. There is only one objective in this class, and that is for each person, each of us, including me, to reach moksha. If we are not reaching moksha, then we are wasting our time. I'm not. I want to be very, very clear. If we need to stop here, we'll stop here and continue thrashing the subject until there is the Samantra Manthan comes, and then you have your little bowl of
If you
Amrit.
don't mind me saying this in this class, the
Hmm.
other students are also listening to this, right? I would
Yes.
like to see what if they don't mind, would they like to share what they think about this whole thing that we are both of us talking about?
Lakshmi Madam
Oh,
has
good,
raised her hand.
good, very good. I would like to.
Yes,
She's
ma'am.
looking for
Based
she's looking for heavy artillery now.
No, I was listening intently to Meenu ma'am and your discussion, sir. So one thought that sprung up is, would it be safe to say that God does not interfere in anything? That's what you were trying to convey in different ways, is how I understood. I may be wrong, sir, but the discussion, what I understood is, God does not, the divinity that we are speaking about, as Meenu ma'am used the word divinity, or God, or the higher power, or Brahman, does not interfere. He is just watching everything. He is just a witness omka witness. He is just watching all of us. Whatever happens is happening only based on prarabdha karma. Now we sometimes pray, we say, please help me out, but still what has to happen with us happens. Brahman is just watching. So whatever is happening to us, we have only brought it upon us. That is the one learning I got from the whole
Correct.
thing.
I completely I agree with you with the second latter part, that whatever is happening is purely because of our own mess. Whatever
Doing.
mess we create, we have to experience it.
Correct.
Where I
Then,
have a problem is that the Brahman is a observer. The
yes.
problem with that statement, which for me at least is, anybody who observe must have an identity. The state of null can have no identity, because by definition, in the state of null, the consciousness is not moving. That is chitta vritti nirodha. That is, there is no raising of the chitta. The chitta is completely static. So it is a pure consciousness. In a pure consciousness, unless there is an identity or there is a personality, that personality cannot, only a personality can observe. If there is no personality, there can be no observation. Am I making sense, Lakshmi madam?
Kind of, sir. Yes, sir.
Huh?
That is
So,
Maya. That is Maya. What you only taught us, no, sir, that any chalanam is Maya. That's
correct.
also part of Brahman only, no, sir.
It is part, no. Brahman is the substrate on which everything exists. There is, let's not. So here, right now, this place, everything is Brahman.
Yes.
Everything is built on Brahman. But Brahman is just a substrate on which everything happens. By definition, Brahman itself cannot do anything, because it does not have a personality.
Yes.
So how can it observe?
Oh.
Sir, in that case, what is the function of Brahman at all?
Brahman is the substrate. Like for instance, you want to build something, you need to have a foundation, place.
The canvas to be painted on, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
So even in a painting, I can understand the canvas supports the whole painting. So I'm saying that this Brahman, when it is in that inert kind of a state, or like kind of quiet and nothing happening kinds, okay? So that it doesn't, when you say it doesn't do anything, it has no guna, it is, it just is, okay?
Yes.
In
Perfect.
that
Perfect. It just is.
Yeah.
It is the present. It is just is. Okay.
Yes, that is what we would call Sat. It is. Yeah, it is. It's the only thing. Now, when it is the only thing, how does it support? This is my question. It is
So the
supporting
question, no.
doing a very important function.
So now for this, we need to recognize one thing. What you are talking about is the Brahman moving out, and then the regression part.
No. I am simply saying that when the Brahman is just like how you now pointed to your room and said, this is all is Brahman, right? And
not only my room, your room also.
Okay. I'm just saying.
Everything is an imaginary thing that we think is real. It actually does not exist. It is a phenomenon.
I understood that part. All I'm saying is that it is, if it is as inert as we think it is, then this function of supporting this entire cosmos, where does that? It's a very, very, very important function, because
Why?
Because if the Brahman wasn't there, where are we existing then?
1 minute. You said it's a very important function. I asked you a very different question. I said, why do you think it's an important function?
Oh, you're asking that. Why is it important? It is important because it's as important as if I have all these oil colors here with me. Now I want to make a painting. I have no canvas. Where will I paint these paints on my?
Exactly. So it means it's irrelevant.
No.
The existence of the universe itself is irrelevant. That's the point.
See, if the canvas was not there in front of me for me to put my painting,
nothing will happen.
No, then how will I do my painting?
Why do you need to do the painting?
I think what, sir, you are telling, is our understanding right, sir? You are saying basically whatever is happening around us, from the perceived smallest to the biggest events, are all actually nothing. It is all just some chalanam. So we are only attributing importance to those things, be it marriage,
death. We are
death.
giving a nose, and we are giving a eyes, and we are giving teeth and all that.
So if we just look at everything, but sir, while I get you, how does that work in our regular normal living, sir? We still are living with people around us who may not be in that state.
Correct.
Like, how do we do that?
It is a daily struggle, which is why When you are talking, this is why in the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, then Ramakrishna Paramahamsa also says, you have to be like a lotus in water. That is,
Mm.
the change it hits you, it should slide off you like as if it did not exist.
Like Jadam.
You
Ah.
have to become. Let's take you raised a fantastic example. Let us take Jadam at the temple level,
Okay.
the idol that we go and worship. It's called Pratima. Now,
Pranita.
now if you went to that temple,
Hmm.
let us say your favorite god is Rama or Shiva or whoever.
Shiva.
You began to look at the idol and say, I'm going to be you. After some time, you stop having your own inter peregrinations and then you slowly start becoming one with the object.
Right.
Now, when that happens, that jadam, that is actually just a piece of stone on which you have done prana pratishtha. Otherwise, it's just a piece of stone.
But even piece of stones have got consciousness at a much lower level.
See, it's like this. It is a consciousness that you have assigned to it, and then over time that begins to get a consciousness of its own. It
Yeah.
gets an identity of its own based on the identity you are projecting onto it. That is why it is called pratima.
No, I'm not talking identity. I'm talking consciousness.
No, no, no. The thing
See,
is that it
even
gets a
a leaf has got consciousness.
yes.
The entire creation has got consciousness, except that
Agreed.
humans have at the highest level next to divinity. I mean, sorry, not
No, no,
divinity.
no.
There is.
The humans have no, no. All of everybody has. We have senses. That's all. That's the only difference. And we have manas and the buddhi. At the end of the day, even a dog has buddhi and manas. The fundamental problem is that our sense of ahankara exists. I am the doer. That is the only difference between all of us. The dog has no ahankara.
No, it
Dog
does.
will.
It knows it is it. Ahankara, not in the ego sense, but in the I-ness. The dog very much has an I-ness that I am
No,
this
no, no,
dog.
no. One second. One second. You need to understand the meaning of ahankara. Ahankara means I am the doer.
Yeah.
Dog does not think I am the doer. Only we think, only human beings have this need to be the doer. Why? Because their sense of identity is so frail. Only because their sense of identity is so frail, they need to do something and they need to get reinforcement of that all the time. Every time I take a class, I ask you for feedback. Are, tell me how my class is. Why? Because first of all, I need to know that I'm doing the right thing. Second thing is you people are okay with it. And then so that massage I need, no? If I was without any this, I would have just come, given the lecture and gone. But here I need
It's
that
also
particular feedback.
no.
Hmm.
Animals also know they are themselves and that kind of a thing.
But it's not ahankara. There, you ignore a dog, the dog will it will go inside. That is asmita. You are confusing asmita with ahankara.
So, what is the primary difference, sir, between these two, other than the ego part?
Asmita means my sense of identity.
Right.
Ahankara means my sense of doership. That I am the doer.
Karta.
I am the karta.
Okay. And now I got it.
Okay, this is happening because of me.
Mm-hmm.
That is ahankara.
Kartrutvam. Yeah.
Okay, so that is what creates your bond, and that is the fundamental difference between humans and other jivas or jadams. Am I getting through?
Yes, sir.
So this particular thing is actually, now we are running short of time. What about let's take final. I'm not going to do prajna, purushartha, and sharira.
Got it, sir.
Not this class. We'll do it in the next class. What about other anything else that you'll? I think we need to have you all understood the Meenu madam, the talking of divinity. The the see, the thing is that God is a Western concept. We don't have that God business. Divinity also, it's not an Indian, it's not a concept that is resident in Astika Dharma. See, this is the, so We need to kind of talk this through if you are still confused.
Sir, no, I think part of the problems we are all of us are experiencing is because the medium of instruction is English when the subject is in totally not English, right?
So if I was to speak in Sanskritam, you will understand?
No, I'm saying in a very practical sense, not in an argument.
I'm no, Meenu madam. If I was to change the language, you would not be able to understand at all. The point is neither you will understand nor will I understand because we'll be completely on different platforms.
I'm not at
The
all saying
question
it
is,
in a critical way. I am simply saying that unfortunately for all of us, because we are forced to kind of learn a lot, not only this class, most of our lives we have done our education through the medium of English, which is a severely limited language when it especially comes to spirituality of our Astika Sanatanis. So we are all struggling. That is, and we are using wrong words. Like I use the word God because in any other place I would have used the word God. They will understand what I'm meaning. But here we want to be precise, so we say no God.
see,
So,
not only that, even Bhagavan is not the correct terminology here. Bhagavan means that which is big. So I don't know who wrote Bhagavan Uvacha. So I have never used Bhagavan Uvacha in the entire Srimad Bhagavad Gita because it's not precise. No, okay, Lalita madam, you had something to say.
yes.
Yeah, no, I mean, various things. Going from the last point, yeah, you're right. Bhagwan actually doesn't, it's not just God. Bhagavan means one who has 6 qualities. There is a list of those qualities, and the one who has those qualities is called a Bhagavan. So, in that sense, maybe it is used. But that was not my point. That happened to be after I put up my hand. But the main point I was this is one is it's very nice when any of us we ask anything or try to when we are discussing the questions that you prop up sort of put up are very what should I say unexpected, and like you asked about what is defined divinity. So in that, for me, divinity is, see, Deva comes from the word Divya. Divya is something grand, the pinnacle. Like what, when we say Saraswati, she is the goddess of knowledge. Means in learning, in knowledge, whatever is the highest, the best, the most wonderfulest, everything, the most superlatives you can put in knowledge and learning, that state, that energy, that that thing is called Saraswati, and we give it a shape or a form, and we say Mother Ma Saraswati. So like that, same with Lakshmi. Lakshmi is, we say, goddess of wealth. But see, till a few years back, uh, fortunately, I got to know it when I was maybe in my teens. But earlier, I used to think as a kid that Lakshmi means goddess of wealth, the physical wealth, the wealth that we can see. No, it is just one part of the wealth. Consists of not just material wealth. It consists of our physical wealth, that is the health, arogyam. It consists of emotional health. It consists of financial health, and finally, even intellectual and mainly spiritual wealth. That is the main thing. The Shat Sampatti and all that, that spiritual wealth is all these inclusive is the goddess of Lakshmi. How many of us knew? I didn't know till I was, because I used to keep asking questions, something like this. In some discussion, I got to know that Lakshmi means goddess of all kinds of wealth, not just any assets or money or jewelry or anything like that. That is the grossest form. But see, like that, so that is the colloquial use of god and goddesses, like, but here we are talking in the root cause, the base. So it is the divya, the highest pinnacle of any field, like Ganesha, like Shanmuga, Shiva, anything, there it is Shiva, it is meditation, dhyana, everything. So like that, each aspect is the highest is called the deva, the divya. And secondly, what is important is, yes, Brahman is something which is the cause of everything, but doesn't really get involved in everything. But it is the Shakti, or what we call Maya, Mool Maya, Maya, whatever. So that is what gives the, as it is also said, Purusha Prakriti, or Maya, and Brahman, or Shiva Shakti, whatever we may call it. So it is that Shakti which gives it the momentum, and the world that we see. So that is one part of it. And the other part of it is, finally it comes to one's own self. How do I relate to it? Whatever it is, the divyata. So the only way we can find out the divyata is when we try to, what should we say, endeavor, or get directed, or it just happens because of whatever karma or whatever it is, grace, we may call it karma or kripa. I would like to think that it is more than the karma, it is the kripa, guru kripa, or the daivi kripa, which helps through, it can even,
May I interrupt,
perhaps,
Lalita madam?
yeah,
May I interrupt, please? Because really, it's not as if I don't want to. This, I think I've
yeah,
more or
yeah,
less
yeah,
got a gist of what you're saying. I have only one small thing to say, and then I will need to shut the class down.
yeah, okay.
Please forgive me for this. The
No
point
problem,
is,
sir. After you tell, I'll tell you. I have a little thing to say, not on this, on something else.
okay. So the issue is that all that you said is the divinity, divyata, all of that is Maya. That is, it is an offtake of the fundamental foundation of the Brahman. Brahman cannot be confused with Shiva Shakti or with the ultimate. See, for example, if you say that Lakshmi is the material manifestation of Vishnu, Saraswati is a material manifestation of Brahma, and so the thing is that these two ultimately will merge into the Brahman only, because everything is Anandamaya Kosha. That is
Yes,
the
yes.
okay. So at the most, at the subtlest level, all of these are the same. The point is that the divinity and all of these that we speak about is essentially material. That is, it is all Maya, and it is all in the framework. And the and moksha that we are talking about is essentially finding a way to break the grip that Maya has on us and to merge with Brahman. So that is basically what I wanted to. I want to close the class with, but you have had a point. I mean, you have something to say. Please say it.
Yeah, that is personal. Sir, I saw the post a little late that, we had to, I couldn't join, though I was ready. I couldn't join by 3 o'clock. So please kindly excuse, I joined at 3:08 or something, because
No,
it
no
was
problem.
some
No
emergency
problem.
call we had to attend.
No,
Somebody
no,
was
no,
not
no,
well.
no problem.
So
No
I
problem
couldn't
at all.
leave that and come. So that
No
was one.
problem.
And the other thing was, sir, in the going back to the discussion, I understand we will discuss it some other time. But our own personal way, what we can do is, I think, is perhaps it appeals, or what should I say? It means more to me.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it's
when time
absolutely correct. It's
permits,
your
I
way.
will.
It is your
Yeah, yeah,
way.
yeah.
Nobody has a
It
right to
is
say it's
each
right or
one's way.
wrong. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
nobody has
It
a
is
right to
each
say it's
one's
right or
way.
wrong. Yes,
Yeah.
there is no
But
right and
what
wrong
I'm
in
trying
your
to say
way.
is, but we get ideas. See, when we
Yeah,
share whatever we have, or we do, or
yes,
somebody else does,
yes,
others
yes,
also, each one learns from one another.
correct,
So some other time I'll share what way, each one can say what they do to
correct. So
follow,
no, we are
yeah,
talking
we
about
will,
the
we'll keep it
path.
in some other time. Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
The path is
Okay,
yoga
thank you.
paths are different. The yoga paths are different, and the individual paths are different. I have got absolutely no problems with that. I am only focused right now on the principles, the first principles, that Brahman is the core, the source, the absolute truth. Everything else is Maya. And how to navigate out of our current state, engripped in Maya, and hit moksha. That's the only point I'm trying to make. And in this, I started off with the purusharthas because ultimately we need to understand how these get connected. So with that, I'm going to close this particular class.